Hi and welcome back to our YouTube channel. Today I wanted to talk to you about liquid latex I have by Maron, and I have been thinking of what to do with the how-to video on latex because there is so incredibly much you can do with liquid latex that I decided to cut it up into separate pieces and give it to you bit by bit. So today we are going to talk about liquid latex with tissue and how to color the tissue and liquid latex into a convincing skin tone, how to blend away the edges, how to make a wound and how to color it. So if you want to know everything about liquid latex and tissue, please keep watching because I will explain it step by step in the coming video. And if you don't want to miss any of the videos we upload to this YouTube channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It's needless to say, but be sure that you use a cosmetic latex when you want to apply it somewhere on your skin. This is the liquid latex by Maron. They've got a few different colors. This is the clear. But there are also latexes that are hobby latexes, and the amount of ammonia in those latexes is at least twice as much as in the cosmetic latex. So it can definitely damage your skin. It burns and it hurts, and just be sure you use the correct product on your skin. I can't emphasize this enough. Use a cosmetic skin safe latex. So when you use tissue, it is important that it doesn't have any texture. So you have those toilet papers with all those nice prints on there. You don't want them because they will stay in your wound. So I will get rid of this little textured edge of my tissue. So I will make the wound on my cheek today. So what I will try to do is get a nice clean bit of latex on there, and when you have your nice little layer of latex, you will get your tissue and gently put it on the wound. Well, what is important at this point is that you don't get any wrinkles in there, because every wrinkle you will have in the tissue will show on your makeup in a bit. And of course you want to get rid of all the excess of the tissue, so just gently peel it away. And cover it with some latex again. Once you have applied the first layer, you need to let it dry completely before you can continue. If you want to speed up this process, you just get a blow dryer and blow dry the latex. Now, the second layer of latex we want to make just a bit smaller than the first one. This is to make the most invisible edge we can using the liquid latex and tissue, because if you would just build up at the same edge over and over again, you would get a height difference. And even if it's just less than a millimeter, it will be visible on your makeup with light and shadows. So we're going to make it a bit smaller and just get latex and tissue in the center of the wound again. So that is the second layer, and we're going to cover this with latex once again. And once again, we need to let this dry. So I quickly made a third layer off camera. You understand that it once again should be a bit smaller and covered with latex and let it dry. Before I will go in and get that wound made, I am going to put my foundation on my skin with a foundation sponge. And it is probably too light for me at this point because this was winter foundation and it is almost summer, or it is summer at this moment. But I want to get all the white covered in a skin tone. I'm using foundation. You could also do this with grease paint, of course. Now the basic color is on there, and I'm going to set it with Color Set Powder by Maron. I'm going to get it really in there with a powder puff. And with a kabuki brush I will get rid of the powder that I don't really need on my skin at this moment. And to make this more realistic and skin colored, I'm going to use the Encore palette skin tones. If you don't have an alcohol activated palette, you could also do this with water-based face paint or in skin colors or even with grease paint. You just want to make it more natural looking. So I'm gonna use the Encore palette with the splatter brush by Titanic FX and a stipple brush also by Titanic FX. If you don't have these, you could also use a toothbrush or a textured sponge to do this. Yes, and once you think you did an okay job on coloring your skin tone, it is time to make the wound. So I have a spatula and some scissors and I'm going to create the wound at this point. Be careful when using sharp objects to stick through latex, because of course your skin is under there and you could really hurt yourself when you just go stabbing that latex. So now first of all I'm going to get those wound edges a bit outward so they are standing up. We like that mostly in Halloween wounds. And second is that I need to do something to the inside of the wound because it's all too clean, as it's my natural skin, of course. So for the inside of the wound, I'm going to get my latex tissue out once again, but this time I don't want it to be as clean and smooth as the outside of the wound, as this is going to be the gory stuff. It can be wrinkled and not so neat. Yes, and that is the inside of the wound. This needs to dry as well, so just give it a minute or get your blow dryer out once again before you start coloring your latex. So now it's time for the coloring, and I'm gonna do this with the Blood palette by Encore and a Titanic FX brush. If you don't have an alcohol palette, you could definitely do this with water-based face paint or with grease paint. I would recommend you the Pro Coloring Bruise by Meron, which is a wonderful product to create any trauma you want. But as I have the Encore palette, I'm going to use it, and I'm going to start with a light color and slowly build it up until it has a lot of different colors of red and a realistic wound. Now, of course, we need blood, and I always like to combine a thicker blood and a thinner blood, so there is some that stays in the wound and some that can come out, but well, you want that shine that the inside of a wound has. This isn't the product that will give it that, but this is a wound filler by Makeup for Film and Television. It is a thick paste that I can use around the edges of the wound to get that depth I really desire at this moment. Then it's time for a bit more shine in my wound, and that is where the blood paste by Vermilion FX comes from. If you want a great blood, I would say look at the bloods by Vermilion FX. They are amazing, very realistic, and this is a bit of a slimy paste that will stay in the wound where you put it. You can just play with it until it is there where you want it. And then it's time for my favorite liquid blood in the world. This is Moltlife's Aged Blood. It is a wonderful color. It has a great texture. It is thin but not too thin. It is thick but not too thick. It is absolutely a blood you should have in your kit. And I would probably want a bit to come out of it as well. And to make it complete, I am going to try and remove a bit of the blood. Yes, well, and that basically is how I make a wound with liquid latex and tissue. So I hope you found this video informative and you learned something of it, and of course I hope you enjoyed watching the video. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our YouTube channel in the link below to stay tuned on all the videos we upload to this YouTube channel. And if you want us to notify you when we upload a new video, don't forget to hit the bell notification next to the subscribe button as well. Otherwise we won't be able to notify you of new videos. Well, for now I wish you a wonderful day, and I hope to see you back tomorrow when we have a very special video with Eva once again. And otherwise I hope to see you Wednesday when we have a new face painting tutorial with Simone.